Good evening, sound check. How are you? How's everybody? Good evening, good evening. Yes, so welcome guys. Let's review the... Can you confirm if you can hear me? Good evening, good evening. Sound check, sound check. Can you hear me? Ba Precious Mulishani, Ba Arthur, confirmed. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Welcome, guys. We are here to talk about the presidential speech and just to analyze. Okay, sound is clear. All right, guys. Share, share, share. Invite people. We are here. We are here. We are live from California. Join in. Let's talk about the press conference. Let's analyze the press conference. Welcome. Mwaiseni, Muzuile Chwangi, Molibi Habuti, Mokalabuti. Just share with me. I'm also sharing. We'll get started in a little bit. Invite people, invite people. Yes. By Doreen Mulishani, by Josephine Mulishani, good to see you. By Teddy Sinyangwe. Let's reach 100 and then we'll get started. This is something, it's very, very important, guys. Very, very important, you know. Excuse me. Feel free to join in and share your comments. I'm going to make the presentation myself. I'm going to do my analysis 10 to 15 minutes and then you can join in. Feel free to join in and share your thoughts. So welcome, guys. This is a national matter, guys. National crisis. We should all be concerned and we all need to put our heads together and talk about what just happened. The presidential speech is what I'm referring to. Yes. I see you by Alex, by Doreen Gondwe, good to see you. I just watched Queen Cobra's analysis. Powerful, it was a lot of us there. That's what we need. You know, we need all of us to be involved, guys. We need to be involved in the national matters. Yes, it was powerful on Queen Cobra's page. Almost 1,000 people. Almost 1,000 people were there watching live. So this is the spirit. All Zambians right now. Namumone chaloko chafika. Mwamone chaloko chafika. Zain, good to see you. Van Sokola, good to see you. I love you too, my people. Mwamone chaloko chafika. We have been talking here and we have been called names. Mwamona. Prevention is better than cure. That's why here at Ubuntu, we have been talking and we have not stopped. Because we believe in prevention. We believe in dialogue. We believe in constructive criticism. If there is one thing all of you must learn from everything that has happened in Zambia is that we all nobody's perfect, we all stand corrected, and that constructive criticism is the way to live in a democracy. Yes. Democratic government entails checks and balances. Democratic governance entails fact-checking. Democratic governance entails that you must accept to be criticized because the country is at stake. 20 million lives are at stake. So when you are in governance, you are not in governance for yourself. You are not in governance for your family. You are not in governance for the bank, for your personal bank account. When you are given a responsibility to govern a country, you are governing for the people, by the people, to the people. Your focus should be making decisions best for the people. So we are here, guys. I'm going to analyze the presidential speech shortly in a bit. Just share. I'm sharing as well. Let's get to 100. It's 80 people watching. So if each one of you tag somebody or share with somebody, we are going to be about 200 people. Hakuna kulala. This is not the time to be sleeping, guys. You have seen what has happened. The 2.5 years of UPND governance. Look at what they have brought to this country. Mamona. Look at what they have brought to this country. These people. So from now on, Isule Nyamenso, Mwebena Zambia, offer checks and balances with respect. Fear no one, but respect everyone. Let us offer constructive criticism. Yes. So let's reach 100. We are almost there. Let me share in a few groups and we'll get started. Yes, guys. Eliashi, Yotafiweme. It's actually a sad day for me. It's very sad. I feel sad, you know, watching the president and listening to his speech. I feel very sad. It's a very sad day for me. Ba Abdu, I see you. Ba Deputy Nyerenda, I see you. Ba Friday, I see you. Chiziman, as usual, thank you for all your support. I'm just sharing in my groups and we'll get started pretty soon. Akunakulala. Mwamona, well, you can't sleep at the wheel. These guys, I don't want to talk much. I'm going to talk specifically today. I'm going to talk in reference to the presidential speech. And I have my notes so that I stick to the point. But I'm just sharing and we'll get started pretty soon. Share with people, tag your friends and family. They can watch when they have time. Yes. I know they have, we have a lot of new followers on this page. So welcome new followers. Welcome. We welcome you to Ubuntu Forum Zambia. And here, our goal is to offer checks and balances, as well as fact check what is happening to ensure that Zambians become economically independent. Yes. So the key of our page is to encourage economic independence by offering checks and balances to the current government. So I'm just going to share in two of my big groups, and then we get started. We'll get started in a little bit. Yes, guys. So, Moiseni, get your coffee, get your water. I know it's late. If you are about to sleep, you can watch tomorrow, but tag somebody, share with somebody, you know. We are here, we'll be talking. We have been talking ever since we have been talking, but, you know, our talking has fallen on deaf ears. And the sad thing is today, our president came to declare a national disaster, you know, hunger crisis in the country. So it's really sad. So we are 100 and I'll get started. You can tag people as so they can watch the video at their leisure. So yeah, so welcome guys. I'm getting started now. I'm not wasting much of your time, but I am here to analyze the presidential speech. that the president gave regarding the drought situation in the country. So I'm going to just look specifically, I'm going to jump to the short-term measures. If you haven't seen the presidential speech, it is posted on his page. The president has posted his speech on his page. Yes. So let's get started. I'll jump straight to short-term measures of the presidential speech. But before I talk about the short-term measures, I would like to summarize. This is just my summary of the whole speech. I will add you after I make my presentation. I see some people are trying to join. So let me just finish my presentation and then I will add you. So I see you, Sister Judy there. Thank you for joining. Precious Zimbas, thank you for joining. Yes, but Dennis, good to see you. Haggai, good to see you. But King, good to see you. Invite people, share with people. So we are talking about the presidential speech today. And my summary of the speech is that New Dawn government has hit rock bottom. Today, I saw for the first time today, since Hakainde Hichilema became the president, I saw a humble president. I saw humility in him. It's like I saw the Hakainde before he was president. So, like what has happened the current situation in the country has humbled our president. And we can see that because some pages are even clapping for that speech. And I'm here to say days of clapping for speeches are gone. Mr. Hakainde came to power through massive speeches where we were all clapping for him. I even clapped for him. A lot of you can clap for him and campaign for him based on his speeches. But days of clapping for speeches are gone. I will only clap for implementation. Implementation is what we want. So those people who are clapping for this speech, shame on you. These are the same speeches that the president used to lie to Zambian to get to his throne. So from now on, when the president comes to speak to Zambians, you must scrutinize every speech and actually get your microscope. From now on, you people, we have been telling you, it has taken the president to declare a drought situation for you to open your eyes. Some of us have already opened our eyes. But I'm here to say, those of you who clap for the president because of his speeches, please stop. Enough is enough. We have a the cholera crisis, you are still clapping. And now when the president comes to talk about national food crisis, hunger disaster, Mule Tota, what a good speech. Shame on you. You are the reason why this government has failed. But praise singer, did it really have to take a drought for you to open your eyes? Some of you, even if could it drought, you're still clapping for the speeches. So let me stick to my point. So New Dawn government has hit rock bottom and their masters are now controlling the country. The country is on autopilot. Zambia Africa Lelo. If you watch Queen Cobra and what she was saying, and I agree with what Queen Cobra was saying, to say that speech was not written in the Zambian State House. That speech was written by people who approached HH, and now because of the failures, economic failures and political failures, we have people now writing speeches for the president. And actually, I think they even cautioned him on his demeanor, because today there was no mocking of PF. And this is how it should have been since he swore, since he took the instruments of power. The president, his speeches should have been like the speech he gave today. Serious to the point, no mocking of opposition and giving us policy guidelines. But the thing is, that speech and the demeanor of the president has come 2.5 years late. And it has come because the country now is in a hunger crisis, which is man-made due to gross negligence and misconduct and mismanagement. 3 things. We are in a hunger crisis, not because there is drought. No. We can't blame our situation now on the drought. No, you know why I say that? Because one, PF left enough mini meal in reserves to cover for 3-4 years. So if they had not sold that mini meal, we would not have a hunger disaster. We would have a drought, yes, but we will not have a hunger disaster. Mwamona? So the hunger disaster that was declared by the president is due to gross mismanagement, reckless mismanagement, reckless decision making and behavior. Mama, your recklessness by UPND, including you praise singers, you have landed Zambia into a national hunger crisis, which is a shame. Nindinensoni panopont. By UPND, you were given the instruments of power to run this country as a ruling government. But instead of running the country as a ruling government, you came to politics. UPND have been politicking for 2.5 years. PFDC, they stole, they did what, but you are the government. Now, Mwamona, by UPND, you have brought problem on 20 million Zambians because of your gross negligence, mismanagement, and the lack of planning, lack of implementation, gross corruption. They are all your portion. You New Dawn government, we have been talking here at Ubuntu specifically, even people like Queen Cobra, Kasonde Mwenda, what's his name? Entirely, we have all been talking. If you are a listening president, you would have taken hit. So we are here to Valanda, the chickens have come to roost. It is a shame on you. So let me go to the speech. They are in the short term. I'm going to cover the 11 points under the short term plan, which the president presented. He says that they are going to source additional maize to mitigate the deficit. And we are here to say, why did you export the mini meal that we had? Why? Yeah? So is this situation man-made so you can import? Because as a planner, as a father, even the villages, you never sell your reserves. So again, we come to ask you to say, why did you tell us the real reason why you exported our reserves? Because as far as concerned, this is a failure. Going in to export your reserve and then failing to think or plan. Because you are not God. You don't know which year you're going to have a lot of rain. You don't know which year you have no rain. That's why every country, they have reserve. Every family, even as an individual, you are supposed to have an emergency budget. Yes. So they are saying they are going to mitigate to import food to curb the hunger, but again, it is man-made. This hunger in Zambia, we want to acquire. It is man-made by UPND government due to gross negligence and the reckless management, and the grand corruption And then he also said our farmers are contract on across the country to embark on planting maize early. Yes, we are here to say you always have good speeches. We want to see a roadmap of how this will happen. Enough of preaching empty speeches and promises. The president looked humble. They are talking all these things. We want to see a roadmap, and this information must be made public. And then on the short term, the president said the Ministry of Community Development were and social welfare to enhance numbers of social cash transfer. So the president said that they are going to increase the number of social cash transfers to help with the hunger situation. So we want numbers, we want details. We are giving, for me, I am giving the president 90 days to roll out these plans that he said today, to see actually how these plans are going to be implemented. We are taking notes. So he has said he's going to increase the social cash transfer. So we want to see how that will be done. We want to see the actual document, how this is going to be done. We are tired of speeches and clapping for speeches. We want to see these things being implemented, brought to light. And then number 4, he said the Food Reserve Agency will enhance community sales. And I say here that, you know what? He's saying the Food Reserve Agency will enhance community sales to the vulnerable and working hand with the DMMU on the provision to purchase maize in all communities. Yes, all this is good, Mr. President, but let this be swift, and we want to see results. We want to see implementation, how this will be done, right? We must be action oriented. We don't want to be clapping for empty speeches. Already people, they are suffering. No, but this drought is coming as an extra blow to Zambians. Yes. So Zambians, already less than 2% of Zambians are living under the poverty line. So we want to see swift and expeditious methods to provide food for all the vulnerable. Yes. And then number 5, the president said he's calling on our partners, local, international, to avail food and other support that we may need to provide the food relief. So the president was begging. The president begged locally, internationally, he was begging for food relief. Now, my comment is, Zambia, we are a rich country. Mwamona, Zambia, we are a rich country. We cannot be begging for food. It's like Warikwa Tempia Mubank. Our mineral wealth is our part of our Zambia's resources or wealth. So wherever they are begging, this whatever aid will come to Zambia, it will not come for free. Zambia will have to pay. So again, they are going to start borrowing more money. This relief will come with conditions. I am telling you, the relief will come with conditions. Again, this government has put itself in this situation due to its reckless behavior and gross mismanagement. Very reckless. Exporting to import. This has been their principle since they came. You know, the UDON government, when they came, they became like a kid. Immediately they got the instruments of power. This new Dawn government started behaving like a kid. Candy store, and they go wild and eat all the candies. And then now it's a shame. Haka Inde, the president, I've never seen him so humble than today. He has been humiliated because of his bad governance, reckless mismanagement, and gross misconduct. Alenga ngatamwashitishe buli obunga twali myebere nga tatufikire pano. Yes, Singapore drought, yes. The drought would have been there, but we would have had the supplies to sustain us. On number 7, the president also talked about partnering with the British, the UN, and the World Bank. Yes, you will partner with them. Again, mwatwala kunkongole na futi, your recklessness as a government is causing more problems for Zambia. Had you listened, we will not be here. Balanda tumwana ateka lishanganya efya achitika ba UPND. Mwamona nomba mwamoneni. Oko mwafishe echalo, mwamona oko mwafishe echalo. Papa eno po bachilala ndefya national hunger crisis, babi kamona debt crisis. Let us stick to one point. The point here is Zambia na ifikamuli drought situation because of your gross mismanagement and reckless governance. That's why we are here. You have been reckless when you don't. You have been so reckless. We can point everywhere. Black Mountain, Mwalishtisha. Where is the money of Mwalishtisha Kuli Black Mountain? Isn't that reckless behavior? Because all the governments that have been there, they have been preserving that Black Mountain. Black Mountain could have been our plan B. Apanomba kwaisa droughty na hanga ngatwa okay, let us sell the Black Mountain so that we use that to buy meals and relieve food. But Black Mountain mwaliposha. All the reserves mwaliposha. Black Mountain mwaposha. Ubunga mwaposha. This is the most reckless government ever. Not to mention how much the president spent on flying around the world. How much is the total budget? Expenditure, how much did he spend to fly around the world for nothing? Point to me, mwebantu bakwalesa, mweba supporter, hakainde his trips. He was bringing investors in Zambia. Now, after almost 200 international trips, the president was there begging for aid. I thought when he was flying around to all those international trips, he wanted investors. If he really flew around the world to get investors for Zambia, right now we will not be begging for aid or relief food. We will be using those same investors he found to provide the food for our communities and our country. Again, for me, I am saying it is the reckless behavior of this government. Gross mismanagement and misconduct. Yatuleterera. Mwaipaisha abantu. So many people are dying already. So many people are dying. But takwali drought number. Next year, I don't know how Zambia will be. I don't know how Zambia will be. Yes. Yes. So, mismanagement yabaleterera. Reckless behavior. Ba UPND ba ishifi kwatika mwai cheba mwiswira mukandi store aja masweet. Ero nomba fya pena, now they are back. Na mapeto muchira. He has folded his tail today. It's a shame on you. People are dying. People will die. That's what we've been saying here, to say this government need to take a grip. This is not how you run a country. How can a country which is a top producer of copper and all natural precious mineral wealth be begging now for relief food? If they had a shame, they would even resign, is all I can say. Apatufikile number. If this new Dawn government had even an ounce of shame in their blood, they can just resign because they have failed. Gross misconduct and negligence of national resources. It's a gross misconduct. They have squandered everything, and then now they are coming to ask for relief. What is that? Is that the Champions League? Is that how a champion behaves? Eh? That's why Balungu Badilanda Day. Balungu was said the other day to say, we have to boot them out. And he didn't mean by any other means. Through the ballot, Zambians will boot out failed governments. Eh? UNIP ruled the country for how long? It was booted out. MMD was booted out. And now PF, despite their legacy of infrastructure, the problem we had was cadarism. But they've been booted out. After 7 years, no, by me, after 2.5 years, gross mismanagement. It's a shame. If these people really mean, if these people really meant, meaning by New Dawn, if New Dawn really meant to improve lives of Zambians, they can just resign peacefully and go and let people who know what they're doing run this country. And then let me go back. I'm still reading. I'm following his speech. And then on point number 8, the president said something to say, to help our country and financial markets as we grapple with these increasing effects of climate change. So I want to say that when the president was in opposition, he rubbished Edgar Lungu as a person who had no vision, you know, and that we cannot blame. I don't know exactly what he said, but the president said something about climate change. So again, we are here to say these leaders, they are good at speeches when they are in opposition. Even Wahaka India has been good at speeches. But when they have in the instruments, when they are serving in government, they cannot implement. Today is the only day that I saw the president stick to topic and not refer to PF and use some of the crazy language we have been condemning. It's only today he stuck to point. And that is how he should have been behaving all along. But it has taken a drought, a national disaster, to humble the president. And I want to tell the president that, you know what? We have almost 2 years to the next election. It is not too late for you to open your ears and listen to people who are talking. Zambia is our baby. We are all stakeholders. Every Zambian is a stakeholder. There are 20 million people of us. We are all have a vested interest. In Zambia, we want to see a better Zambia. So when we talk here, it's not that we hate you or we hate what, no. Because now, but the drought has come. Who is suffering? It is our children. Our families are there. Our relatives, our friends and neighbors. It is a huge blunder which you made. And I think the president, me personally, should have come out with an apology to apologize to the country. The president should have come out to start his speech. This is my opinion. I think the president, to start his speech, he should have come out with an apology to apologize to the Zambian people for gross mismanagement of Zambian resources. Yes, we need an apology. You cannot just do things and then behave. Mambo huipaidira kwata pali fichitike. No, big things have happened in Zambia. 20 million are facing starvation. 20 million are facing starvation this coming year, because this is February. We are yet to set foot in March. This is the beginning of the year, and we have declared a national hunger disaster. How are we going to survive through this dry spell until the next rain come in October? So we have March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We have 8 months ahead, guys. We have 8 months ahead of where people will be facing starvation. And this starvation is created due to misconduct and negligence, reckless behavior of government officials in this new Dawn government. Because Mwarisangiri Amataba, we will not let you go scot-free on this. We will hold you accountable. Because Mwarisangiri Amataba, you found stock mwashitisha. And now look at what is happening in the country. You will even have the nerve of allowing foreigners to go in the villages and buy stocks from villagers. Ikakosa Mwandini. 20 people are subjected to hunger due to the actions of a handful of people. The president, the Minister of Agriculture, and a few people around him. A handful of people, their reckless behavior has put Zambia in this situation. We demand an apology. First of all, this government have to apologize to the Zambian for causing this hunger. Because had they not sold that maize we had in stock, yes, there will be a drought, but we will have maize in stock to feed our country. And then number 8, the president said there must be total transparency in the use of resources. Yes, the president, you always say this rhetoric about transparency and the rule of law. It's about time you start walking your talk. Bahaka inde ichilema. Do not use the media. Ukula tushinga mabata pamenso. You are always saying transparency, rule of law. But what is happening? Just take an example of the Simple CDF. Who has benefited from the Simple CDF? Take an example of these goons that are insulting here. Is Zeta going to arrest these people who are busy insulting people? Karaka matoboka Franklin, that guy Frank Chopi, do you have the hots for Mamachka Monica or what? Ulava Fwaya, Frank Chopi is a shame. These are the people who are using the name of the president to insult people. Why is the rule of law not equal and fair in Zambia? Why? We are tired of you, Mr. President, always coming, talking rule of law, but your cadres are terrorizing people. Frank Chopi is always on Mamachka Monica's case. Why? You were Frank Chopi. Mamachka Monica. Shame on you. Zambians are not fools for you to be coming every day, Mulelanda. In your speeches, you always say you are on your own if you commit something. Meanwhile, people are committing crimes every day, terrorizing citizens. Like Frank Chopi is always on Mamachka Monica's case. Why? Frank Chopi, Mamachka Monica. Where is the law? Why are you always harassing Mamachka Monica? Mamachka Monica is a citizen who has a right to express herself, to talk about any political leader she wants. No, by way, Frank Chopi, every day Wabuka, you come on live and make a video about Mamachka Monica. Just because you are UPND, you are untouchable. All these things that are happening in the country are amounting to the failure of this government. By them failing to apply the law equally, using their hired goons to terrorize citizens. It is a shame. People like Frank Chopi should be summoned to the police station and stop harassing Mamachka Monica, including all these stupid idiots to Kanap. The president says here that, transparency and the full force of the law. But we don't see the full force of the law. We just see it on paper. On the ground, different things are happening. And and on number 7, the president talking about inviting stakeholders. PF, if there is anyone who should be number 1 on this table, it is the PF team, the Ministry of Agriculture, and all those people who left the reserves of Milimi. Zambians will solve Zambians' problem. If you invite stakeholders, they'll make decisions for themselves. Bahaka, it's about time you take away your pride and involve Zambians in your stakeholder meetings to resolve this hunger crisis in Zambia. I am just appealing to you. You have said in number 11 to say you are going to call stakeholders to have a meeting with stakeholders. And that meeting, I am asking you have to include PF. Because despite PF not having a vision, despite Lungu not having a vision, he left the dollar at how much? He left Wunga at how much? He left Milimiu in reserve how much? And he left Zambia had how much? Electricity capacity had been increased to so much. So Bahaka Inde Ichilemba and your government involve Zambians in whatever roundtable meetings you are having, because Zambians are the ones who are affected with this hunger situation, and they will make interests. Their decision will be in the best interest of all Zambians. You cannot have a crisis in the country and then foreign investors who know that we are sitting on trillions of dollars worth. Again, that relief, it will come at a price. I'm telling you. Because it's like we are going to ask for help, but when we have the wealth, you know. You cannot be so think that you are clever than anybody. No. God has a humbling way. If you think you are clever, God will humble you. Mailo tulalo press conference here kwa Mr. Ground. Ale isapano. Ale tuebe fiachitik. We are waiting tomorrow. Tomorrow, Mr. Ground will be here. But, you know, on the long-term measures, you know, the president said that the disaster emergency is serious. Mamona, the government is responding urgently with all utmost dedication and as a united team. So what we want is your government, Mr. President, if you really mean what you say, let us see. Let us see that you are working with everyone. And stop politicking. You know, politics are for campaign, you know. You have been politicking ever since you came to power, 2.5 years. All your ministers, every time they are politicking, you know. They are not talking about policy, procedures, or whatever their ministries are doing. Everything is dead in the country. We don't hear your ministers reporting what is happening, whatever. Once in a while, you hear something about all the road work in whatever has taken shape. Then Ndola Lusaka Road is taking shape. You know, we are going to 3 years. Mwashara tena 1 year. Mwashala kina 1 year. But you know, ba UPND, mwashile no bufi sana. I was to Alipali Queen Cobra Milo, and she showed Ali Tambisha video area where you were campaigning, telling the youth to say to mukapokama mining licenses and it's going to be safe in the mines, but not everything you said is opposite. From promising la youth mukapokama mining license, what has happened? Jeff Bezos had discover mine. Ama youth mwabeba forming and ama cooperative. Don't lie to people. God will expose you. Lesa ala lete fin tuifia kwebati. Mwase bana ungamulech to changes. You know, Zambia is bigger than you, Mr. HH. You found Zambia and you leave Zambia. And to be honestly speaking, I think that this current president will be the most humiliated president in the history of Zambian presidency, because he came blowing his horn. He came blowing his horn. And all the problems that this government is facing, they could have been avoided if they did their work. If UPND came to work and save Zambia, these problems that we are having, they are man-made. It is due to gross negligence and gross mismanagement and misconduct in these offices. This is why we have these problems. Yes. Kamonga if tsunami, right? If Zambia all of a sudden tsunami isa and blows everything away out of Zambia, then we can say it's a disaster, because the tsunami has wiped out everything. But these people, their decisions and actions have caused us to be here. And that's why I'm saying, if they even had an ounce of shame, of integrity, they can just resign on moral grounds, because they have failed due to their reckless behavior. It's recklessness. Takwava umuntu kupupuke ndege, how many trips, international trips, but failing to put piped water in Lusaka. Those trips that Mr. President took in the last 2 years, they could have put piped water in the entire Lusaka. We won't be having cholera today. But what? It's reckless behavior and negligence. Eya leta pano. Eya tufisha pano. So, by UPND, sit down and think hard. Because obviously, kuya kwena muleya 2026 tapalichen. And I think the president now beba no kubeba. But Intel na beba, but OP have already told him to say, "Sir, mwambi okulonga," because he looked very reality hit him. Have you ever seen a kind of moneka fide press briefing? Tabachi lumbula pona lungu mukanwale. Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Madam, when I kwata kwe fintu almost ifidi fo ifya kulanda po. Mwanfu?
Tuwali len, mule ufikira patari bat.
So ifintu ifidi fo ndefo kulanda po. Ibala ndile president time bali mu campaign. Bali promise lama Zambians to say, I'm going to bring a cheaper meal and affordable for all Zambian people. Life. Imikalile. Mwanfa mayo. Then babwera futi basala that all Zambians, I'll make sure nalamishita employ. Mwanfa. But yopo bayingirira batata now it's almost to 3 years. Ineshatala munapo instruction iliyonse bakulapo. I never see even a hospital, even a level 1, even a clinic, small clinic, even schools. But babwera batampo kutuka abantu abakulire fye fintu. babwera batampa okutuka emisebo eshino sho balepita kuko baleya kuma ring road kumyaboko babwera basula abantu abapangira ama plan ya kukula ama hospitals ama schools because we can't build the hospital minus employing people. The first thing before you employ someone, you have to build something so that those people who are coming will come and work in that hospital. So PF, he had that vision to say, before we employ people, let's build first hospitals, schools, and other facilities. But I'm surprised each and every time when the big man comes in the media, starting insulting to say, I've employed people, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. But if you're going to employ Yabanavo, Yalini plan Yabanavo, we want to see now to say that how is it going to work to build something? Each of the challenge that UPND has been in power for 3 years, for 4 years, even for 1 year. Mamona. Chakwe bati balefiro okukula ebintu say ati muri 3 years nga balese ndama block ono kopa belt balete tunsha limoli mwe block up to Mazabuka no to Lusaka. This time nga bali pushako no toilet imo. But up to today they are just busy blaming each other, blaming someone who was built ama structures, someone who built roads. Mwamonaga. Then nga twatubwele futi kuifunde lya Zambia. Zambia is a Christian nation. I don't think you can insult someone who's older than you. Mamva mayo. But now bashitalawo abwama ama machani abwama manani babo tushisumvo shanda chama machani abwama yes na bashitalawo because aba bantu tabale tukabena bale tukabena abantu aba building efyo fine fintu but ngachakwe but nibena bale tukwanga bale yumfa pen but because of wena tabakwete fya kubomba panomba so bale tafyalawo ama youth abantu abo bale tukafya abantu tukaba former president tukaba fya shwes because what I'm surprised it's we can't insult someone who's older than you like aba fyashi like imwe kwati kuline muri ba fyashi you are my mother umwana kashuri wonse mu fyashi as long as mwana kashi no takufyala but as long as nakwateshina lya mwana kashi ninshi ninoko but mlesanga tabene nani aba fimbo poke batukoyi okay wifi fimbo poke alifo kuchallenge abarungu anje beko ocho wakula po ba HH tangi pupo bayingira fe mu power ba HH cho wakula ngate kwikata fya abantu ko babika mu sales ngate kwikata fya abantu ko bashita accused to say that no abadi bakabwala baisha okay iwe tawulika bwala turangishepo ocho okulire because nawe no washite employee nawe na mawekazi abale bomba basofa bafuire baishi but iyi structure wakulire ni nani iyi road turepita mu wakulire nani iyi school turesambira po wakulire nani bafuire baishi ba so lungu ya division to say that I can't employ someone minus apa kuombera mwafama so lungu ba PF bali kwete vision na basata to say that first tukule apa kola ababombera abantu then twalabe ngishenchito teti mulanda tibali kule fye fintu kwa bulo kupanga idea kuntanja no twakaingisha abantu ichito no that's a lie. So now HH is busy accusing people to say this and this up and down. Ese ale tondoka na polepole na tunapa Mzambia hapa inflata ile loka takudi fyakulya takudi fili fyonse mwamona apanga alikweta mano HH wino venga muntu wanda ti economist ni farm oyo muntu ngalida ndakona ma commercial farmers wa Mzambia kwambira fepa kabwe ukuyafika up to Mkush farm block ashta aikana wa farmers yabo to say you guys mone ni finta fili wino muno Mzambia muno. So I'm asking you guys more kwata ama farms na ama center pivot. I'm going to supply you fertilizer, I'm going to supply you a seed, I'm going to supply you everything. Abatwana hyonse fe na tractor abaze denis abatwana bakwata ama farm block waya kulwayo because abantu bakwata ama center pivot. I know to say that HH can't buy center pivot because it's very stingy and it's very bitter. Mwanfa mayo. So now, ngawale tontonganya ti fin fialat costing if ngawali kana farmers yabo bashita agree to say that okay, what you want to do right now if intuna fishupa tulelomba ko ma farmers yemwe mwasenda ko ma farmers no 500 ama farmers yabalabe nabakulu bakulu ma supply CD ma supply fertilizer fiance. I don't think even fertilizer omwe yaba Mzambia omwe I don't know shishi benga bali chita fertilizer aba mdala. So now ngawali chali yes na wabantu bapanga agreement to say that if you photo mpela for free, center pivot timu alima mataba twice in a year. Nga mwankwata center pivot no lokata timu alima mataba because I know how center pivot of yaba. mwamona. But apa bachitala to say baleta mataba aya yero ero amataba ya yero ayo ubobunga bwa yero. I don't think ubobunga bwali kwata bwali ba health yo because kuli ifyama agriculture wambita twasambirirapo. So I don't think wamdale febale chitalimbi ati fyama no sana. I don't think so. So now what you are thinking is ni state bekali nama farmers waikala panshi bashita agree to say ati okay if intuna fishupa because lungu alishakula fyonse nomba beno fo bala chitapali problem ilipo Mzambia finshi ofo bala chitapo because the challenge na bena as a president we have to face the challenge to say that I'm going to do this and this ofo bala chitave na challenge bala challenge shani nolo wakala chitave continue kukakaba nabo nolo wala wombila pansala ili Mzambia ofo ndefo kuipusha ine. So I want either UPNG member or UPNG to challenge this to say batulangisha kufo bakula and challenge bakwete bena yansala Mzambia so wala ishashani challenge hiyo wala ipusha shani lungu ali bakulira kwa hospital so tabakwete pressure ya kukula ali bakulira kwa maskuzi tabakwete ma pressure ya kukula so now challenge bakwete bena yansala wala ipusha shani challenge okuchira bale tukaba fyashwes okuchira bale tukabantu because ishwensele bale tukesho umwana wandi ngashu kweshwensele nika memory card kala asunga kai kala muna fe ni normal but in at the end of the day icharo chile onaika. So what's the challenge number bala ipusha challenge okuchira bale that no lungu nalanda mashiwa yabi bena ba ichechi nyanga mashiwa yabi bala ndilepo amashiwa bala ndilepo yabi nyanga how many times ofu bala ndabena nifinga so nga chakwe bati bena bale munati ofu bale chita fili normal challenge wakwete apa yansala panta pale fo bale kule filifyozo nishinda male chitwala kuisa man tax payers money shakwela fyendeke no shakupusha ma challenge Mzambia ofo ndefo kuipshine and yawe na bale tukabonse abo so far kula bale mbafi ya machine na fyonse because at the end of the day tukalala ndafi kali bala batuma teti wabeka but umuntu fye umbi kwati ine kapususunga na ndefi fyonse apa I'll be noted and everything I'm on target but yapo bambiro kutukabo nilisa bambiro kutuka and challenge bakwete ikurusa no bushira bale tukabantu pa media to say this and this no mwamona abonga baite mwechipani chabo bafuire bale landa ma solution ali background to say okay boss we know to say you are busy mpita kulingi road imwe but look at what the problem is in Chawama in Kanyama in Mandevu in Matero this and this ama challenges to sanga background ya so kuchirafi ati awe kalungu tawako atamano kalungu shanshan shanshan uyo lungu mlela ndapo imwe tata imwe bafimbo poke no mwatampo kunyalero imwe mukaya for hospital level 1 ya kwa lungu no mwatampo kunya imwe mukaya nwamesha ya kwa lungu mwaro mwatampo you know I feel pain especially to see someone who's insulting someone who's older than me mamon chira kalipa whereby ule tontonga but uyu muntu I learned that lungu is a bad person who akulire fininani I learned that no PF was a fifth session watch the fininani so I don't think these people are there to help Zambian people. I don't think so. I don't know, mama. I don't know. Because bitterness ya chiramu at the end of the day. Ama yezi ya leya. Bale ya fibadilanda pabantu. Dimbi mumu ali mwana pofu bakula po mama.
You know, Lensa ni Mariotola. Because and I said in my opening remarks to say, this government has been reckless. They have been politicking. Instead, they are kubomba. Mamona, babombe, tupeleni roadmap. But they have been politicking. Timba upoke mlenya mlera pila. Nomba tulenya pila. You imave never UPND. You have cast chalo chenu. Yeri amashi mlenya mlera pila. Mamona, the power of the tongue. Where are the preachers in Zambia? A lot of people have been saying, even my title, Parachimika Dark Cloud. Men of God has shown in the spiritual realm, a dark cloud has befallen upon Zambia. People have seen this cloud coming.
Yes.
And instead of us doing what we need to do to intercept that dark cloud, the power of the tongue, as a government, it's their slogan. So let's
and
they are worshipping a demon. Mulenya mulela pila chimono kuchita worship ichiwa Satan. You cannot celebrate somebody's uchushi or problems.
Yes, you are wishing bad things to someone.
mulenya mulela pila is ukusupport obutushi bw'abantu. So nomba tulela that imwe mayugo
Yes.
dono po maishida. Every day mulenya mulela pila kulatukana lungu n'abakashi bakwe n'abaana bakwe. A person who left in the Zambian economy 3 times better than what you are doing. A person who has national immunity, presidential immunity, but the police cannot go and arrest people insulting ECAY because our institutions are compromised.
But when you look at someone again, mama, inachondemona the bitterness wakwete fya abantu because now wakwa tension. Okay, I want to give an example. HH nifingo for Ireland ama videos yote wakwata limit ya post. Ama videos ya Ireland HH fya kulanda to know to go to kuma elections. No, we have to do impeachment mu parliament. Nifinga Ireland HH.
Lokulanda, Alelanda, all those things that Lungu. In fact, Lungu, but you know, I am happy that Queen Cobra is talking more to bring out what PF did because my problem is that PF tabakwato wakubalandira. Our UPND waitanga wachita kukama lies propaganda and they spread the lies. Like Yapa already he see what he said. He said we are going to put them out. Tana direct kudita no. Through the ballot. But from there, I at your ECO alefo kuleta kudita.
Iskulu.
From there, bamutwiki omulandu ECO at treason.
Kaidina mwisho fo ili hapa. Ninsoni wakwete. But again, inofonde mwana solution. Our challenge wakwete kufe bachite kufe seto ya agriculture because it's a big problem for our nation.
You know, my comrade, my son, Wemwana. Lesa ni mariotola lesa ewa mulinganya because ababantu they have the instruments of power and they have been manipulating the Zambians. So no, Lesa has been sending warning signals kuya ababantu. For example, Popanopa page, we have been a warning signal to Arimana Vena. Posopo Banyanta, we have been there offering checks and balances. We have been ignored, insulted, and whatnot. A lot of things are happening. Vashti Shamata Batuaveva, Bahemboksta import Nantuaveva, like everything. Black Mountain, Badi Posha Yonse, like they came to steal and destroy this country. They have not brought any improvement. If in Eulandi Lokwati, Sonten Turangeni Polo Chimo, what you have done to improve Zambians' life.
Nobody blog kulifunya ku Livingstone kulileta mu Lusaka. Tiba puisha no toilet kula fena bolo.
Classroom mama 1 by 3 classroom. Imitengo infula ya lokafye imitenge shafimbuka. Bale kula no ne fimbusu. Entire government, can that be a project of a government kukula toilets?
Okay, sometimes if into fimo timwalanda ati mulefi mwena fefine but fiat costinga because you know e challenge tule kwa tapa nga twachita fe continue kuidekelela yala to costinga futi more than maybe even 100 times more than this.
Esho tule belama Zambians ine pano twali beba Zambian wake up Zambia ukanaisa. Zambian must talk. Baka inde mwambi okumfwa apa nomba iyi nomba ni wake up moment baka inde shibukeni.
And now there's something I want to explain to you something about Mao Sampa. Do you know at Mao Sampa why itakwata voice of to challenge UPND?
No.
Alikwata case Mao Sampa.
Okay.
So wali abantu walikwata evidence pali Mao Sampa to say Mao Sampa, if anything, what you are going to talk, you are going to put this thing on the table. That's all from Mamwena wa Mao Sampa wafe kwanya kali mumuntu uli wa Rwanda uli wa kwato ulebe mwacho uli arrest feso. Because to tell the truth, Mao Sampa pali ali Mao Sampa even watu wa UPND wale mbompi ale mna kwachi bampela mu president mu UPND. Ain tetu wampele. Mao Sampa is just there being used, but at the end of the day, that man will suffer like the way he suffered that time he came to kneel down there at Zingarume ground there. Ukwisafukamina barungu. Nintwalero umbabu meya. Pa Zingarume ground. He kneeled down. Bamupera bumeya basamba mausamba. Bali utruka mausamba. But today now, he's coming back to say no. Hey, this and this, this and this. Now, those chaps who was insulting our former president, they're about to disclose the truth about what was going on in the background and in the dark meetings. Mama,
Oscar, add. Can you follow and unfollow me? It's refusing to add you.
So na mwana nomba pa mausampa foidi. Ba mausampa, whatever bonfia, for the sake of to say, no, we are going to defend you, we are going to give this and this and the security wing, shanshan. But at the end of the day, umuntu ule ya ni umo. And abantu abale vota ni banga ofu bafile bale shaba UPNG. Aba fimbo poke na bena bale tuka abantu abengi. But aba vota ni banga. Ocho tabayitontonga na wamda fonda na wamda bali ba bitter. You know when you are bitter, it's an example. I'm going to give you an example. Umwana panga ndana rufyanya. Then umwana ulia na rufyanya. Yes, we agree to say no, your child has made a mistake. But when you use that loud voice, don't expect to say that your child is going to understand the points. Umwana kala konka fe chongo. Ese tia kumusenda umwana to say, okay, my child, sit down, listen, I want to hear something with you. Wamwe umwana up to this and this and this. Why chasing a chako batu bali kwete amano. Bali abonse bene fimbo poke, abene ground wonse bali ya ngawadi bekete ukubeka likapashi to say, no, I'm not going to take you to jail, but I want to warn you to say that abamule tukana bafyashi besu. Mwamona bafyashi besu. If you want to talk about politics, talk about challenges whereby people see to say that you are giving challenge whereby I understand to say that if you are so. I'll give you an example. Like what Mwanawasa said about Sata. Mwanawasa said that ngate uyu ngashire muna challenges there ngifile shika makomboni. Mwanawasa agreed that. He said no, he's the one who gives me checks and balances. Mwanawasa said that. But wamdala bena once umuntu fie uwa mo opposition ngalanda fe to say, hey, nishapo mkomfa kufe mairu ati no abamtola. Ngalanda fe chintu icha pali wa HH nishimairu watola. But umuntu wabo ngati atuke. No kwekala tabakwishiba. No kwekala tabakwishiba neshina tabamwishiwa nga muntu wabo. But umuntu umbi wafe outside the party yabo. Ma seconds. Ma seconds wino. So I don't think ichi chao cha Zambia panomba mlendera mzambia alimbi atilimbi chili bwino chao cha Zambia. No. And I'm surprised whereby if intifile shtika abama mama nani abama fimbo poke aba amashani abama mama achaba bashani abarumba tashani apano ba press singer webene abo tabale mwana okumatu say ati ale totera ale yakunganda ale amusanga kunganda mulichiwa we yakusumpula but kulenshi ashira tota kuli upuba tukwete for my youth. Upuba tukwete for my youth. I'm not saying I'm insulting people. No, I'm including me. I'm a youth. So upuba tukwete for my youth. Tuleba fema pressing aba upuba wo kutontonga pa the future yabana, pa the future yesu. To say, what about tomorrow when I sick? Ku hospital ngayasanga attention yama doctors inama medicals nani? Ngachakwe watu umwana wanje levo kuya ku college. Akayasanga press ya utataka sambira fe bwino takasangwa na malwere yambia utatina batitinkana abana atuletontonga na fyonse efyo tuwetondoka pali lero face switch batsuwa pakanwa patwamyanga twaya ulela batu walikwata family walikwata future abana baka kuma schools problem tule kwata mamona andishire mpapusha fesane yine utati ababantu aba bale chitala okula tukanywa fe abantu bale tukafya bakulu ama challenges bakwete mpati mumyago yakulu sana utati bafuira obuteko babushipikishe tuse ati munene ama yes tukwete ya nono sana twala bombelesha mazambia so that we proving it to say ati say we promised this and this ubungo bwa 50 wapa 50 so it means talela nda 50 kwacha alela nda no I'm going to add 300 alandira chibunga okesa pa 50 kwacha. He didn't say 50 kwacha. Tatwamfuire bwino fwe mazambian alandira chibunga bukaba palishinga pali 350 ifwe twamfuire 50 kwacha ama twina ina fuire mfikisha sana fwe youth. Iyo fiyo balandira fiyo ikafuma pa 17 kwacha kesa pa 5 kwacha ka 10 kwacha. Tefyo balandira fiyo I'm going to add that 17 kwacha I'm going to add 20 kwacha so that it come 34 I mean. So fwe mazambian mfikisha sana fwe mazambian tuilaba dao fwe youth especially twaliba sana dao fwe youth mfikisha na bantu vota mwamona because ama months wakwete yano tulependa ama months tulim count down hapa so nga chakwe bati bali serious mukubombera vya Mzambia serious imibombera Mzambia bebe abantu abaleko kutuka but balande pama challenges ofile babombera po ayama schools balengishira kwa abantu ayama clinic balengishira kwa nurses ama instructure yaba nani abakulire efyo andofo balekulire efyo balekula tufyakusa mukufile kafe fino fyakusa mukuingisha mu abantu inchito so ifwe tulefo ayana bena bamonde to say ifi ofo bakulira banesu na ifwe twalire po we antanshi to say na ifwe to building efyo so kese so ntati ifi yesu fwe bakulire efyo shishiwe mayo mulemo na shani
awo mwandi mwananda ine nkumye kuri free education ine free education bale yumfira po abana bali kwati mukitere kya nkoko fyo bali abana besu ine ame teacher by profession nale funda abana bali kwete ama desk nangu bale titikana okay twali kwete student to student teacher ratio it was going to 40 to 70 ero nale funda inyakali but baletwanga banyudon muletwanga pali free education abana bekala kwati ninkoko ukulala embela papa there is no space nangu mu classroom takuli na space ya kubika desk abashukire n'abakwata ama desk ero yine CDF bali funding at but if my desk if yali toba is poorest quality of desks ama desk itana survive 2 years if my desk bali fiposa aba iche bali yamkwikala panshi kwati muchitere chankoko. So this is another thing to say, what kind of future is a deliberate dumbing down of a generation? Ababa nabale pitamu education system ya Zambia 10 years from now they won't know anything. Quality of education elo face babi kapo no English about teacher and qualified teachers ama grade 12 dropouts chukuru nuwevo kada buluru owe nimi nikada bamwingishe nchito aluka teacher abantu abalefunda abana besu mu Zambia mwe bantu bakwalesa this is deliberate diseducating kashuka kuti nananda dumbing down of a population of an entire country is a deliberate move bakainde balisambira abana babo basambira kwisa Now, Minister of Education, where are his children? You look at the sight of our children in this so-called free education is a sorry sight.
Alipado mwana alasambire nsha alipado panse ya do alipado alasambire
classroom na yisula babi bali muma window balelengera balisambira free education kule yumfirapo.
Wow. So mama ilo kuna chavo kuipusha i government techifaye kono renda mesha utati bashita kwa center pivot
impia bali kwata
no maniste bashita center pivot bapela bazeddenesu bashita kwa mataba bashita ko batampo kulima bazeddenesu kuchira batampo kuleta yero mu
apapineza mawufira chibali ya kongola 15 billion bali kongola 15 billion uko iya kukula smelter. Where is that story?
Bashite okay smelter bayivike pa odoni bashite kwa center pivot bapela bazeddenesu bali mekofi amataba before tailafika December na October amataba ni chibasiri nga bazeddenesu nishite bashite kwa mataba bali meko bazeddenesu ama center pivot yala bomba up to December nisha mataba yabako bwino nishite bashite kwa efi tamulinda lama Mzambia
awe ya shupa ba Oscar it's saying adding ba Oscar is trying to add you I don't know why but it is grayed out
Aini.
Katwish, gross ngamwachinkonga pakwamba, I said this government, they are reckless. Gross mismanagement. Ama priorities yabo, they are wrong. Mismanagement, negligence.
Ero namwishiwa. ERF ikasana city kuchita secure sana city. Nikopa Belt na Lusaka.
Awa nabaya, bakainde nabaya. That's why ngamwachiba muna lero bachiba nensoni sana. Nababeba naba OP nababeba okwebati bakainde nimo ba one term. Move focused. Like frefo bachiba lero. Efo balingiro kulaba lyonse. Kufuma deba pokera ma instrument power. That demeanor ba ichechi bachikwata. Ngeo bachikwata and then follow up. And then efo ndefo okulanda. Fweba ikala kuno kuma diaspora nga kwaluka disaster. What happens is the president wale minina kumbali. The president is not the one to address. The president wale isula floor. Elo nomba minister wako agriculture aisa apela briefing. What they are subduing ama plans bakwete. Udia wako DMMU na yena aisa apela briefing. That's how it should be. So him coming to read the speech, ni lip service. Because tuarikala kunokwa wama disaster. Ukwa koba hurricane, yapita. Wipe out the whole city. If it take a Mozambique disaster, it is recklessness. It's a mismanagement.
Yes, poor planning.
Yes.
Yes.
Disaster is a disaster. In fact, the right word, it's a man-made disaster.
Yes.
We have made it. Disaster in Mozambique. Welcome,
yes, my brother has joined there. My brother has joined.
Yes.
Good evening.
I don't know.
Good evening, Chair Lady.
Good evening. Welcome, comrades.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
We are very okay. Despite our challenges of this time around day and day, it's very harsh.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to remind each and every one of you that are discussing these issues, the speech, the infrastructure, the free education, the way the lawlessness on that is applied on one-sided. These are the things that are so deliberate.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about I'll give you an example about war in Gaza. You know, this is a war that has affected a lot of people. That's just an example. The people are suffering there, and the other side is attacking the vulnerable, and the whole world is watching, and they're acting like there's nothing happening, and nobody can do anything about it because they don't care about those small people. Same to what is happening here. And somebody will go on a platform to say no, wapanga omulandu akemina eka, but ku background bale mutafya tukaefitukana tukakusapota ile tukesa pa platform nge apali open apali abantu fila fipuba tukafibepa fye but tapalofu tukakuchita. If you've seen a lot of things happening tapali file chitika, there's only one side of a story ile ba serious. So even as we come on a platform like this, let us be very cautious and let us do politics that we always advise you to do. Let us do politics, IAMA checks and balances that are clear, not IAMA insults, so that we protect ourselves. Chair Lady, namulanda sana pali speech. Chair Lady ni shachumfuako nkyachumfwako nachumfwa fe ati kuliko speech but nkyachumfwako na aliumfwa sana ama speech ye nama speech awe nalireka okumfu nalikwete po mukashana umo ona alefu okupa alenjeba yo nkakuchitire efi naine nkakuchitire efi awe lyonse bwale bafe bufi palasi nalisukire namusula because wali wabufi nga naba muna bayisa naletira fya tyaba babufi abano olbarande fya nga fifiri fyonse bufi balebepa so no balelanda no lechite efintu kuchiwamba no kula tontonga ne pali fimbi kubalelanda because bali babufi Adishba, it is very unfortunate when you reach an extent where everyone tambo bariko kukumfwa ngolera ndi fintu file pune fpe pama apata pali wa kukumfwa lero line amashi mwachira chita outline apo bacharedi na mmo bana umfwako fya chiba mu masosero yaja mo tule umfwako no wene kwati mwatupera kona information ifi achira chitika na mumona pala pakubala na tukwata video bachushika sanda bale chita post byo bale chama tabachi ya kino cyalo ninshi bali bakanishe sana kuri ba mundubire muipanga mistake ukushya matabaya nga mureshi chama tabaya mukarete ensala mu cyalo bali kene bali chitena post baranda na matabaya yali ku kwefala storage. The next thing that we saw matrax area ku Tanzania ele twara mataba lero tete tuse tumfuati yo amataba twaresha ku Tanzania ko turatupokea amataba ku Tanzania lero nolo turatupokea
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Pumulo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, my picture. I will not come with my picture because
It's okay as long as we can hear you. Welcome, Mama. You okay?
yeah, I'm feeling a bit okay, but yeah, I'm not too well. But I've been following the program, and it was very tempting to join. I couldn't resist.
I know it's hot, Mama.
Yeah, it is just so hot. I watched that presser of HH. I watched the presser, and thereon he allowed only 2 questions from that PS of his, what's his name? Kawana, Tabo Kawana, I think, related to the subject. And one of the questions they asked, it was a reporter from ZNBC who said to him, "Oh, Your Excellency, why can't we take the much needed resources, machinery to the northern province, which is receiving so much rain as opposed to these other districts and provinces, so that they can also start farming food for Zambia?" And as usual, HH, in his boastfulness, in his arrogance, he never fails to make an F-up. Excuse my French. He belittled the people from Northern Province and says, well, it will take some educating our friends in the Northern Province about farming. I thought that was the biggest insult he could give to a large province that gave him a vote in 2021. Honestly, Mr. HH, did you have to say this? From time immemorial, from the 60s, the people in the Copper Belt, Northern Province, Kuma Mukushi, Kuma Serenje, Konsoku, they have been feeding themselves Are you trying to tell me Southern Province has been feeding the entire country? Isn't what he's trying to tell the Zambians? What a shame from a statesman. I've always said every time that man opens his mouth, it's just a can of worms that comes out of his mouth. Sometimes he has to have somebody next to him who can speak for him. Because uwakale mataleka. Zambia. This is the worst insult he can give the people of Northern Province. People from Northern Province for a vote. And today, Alefu Abasambidishe how to farm. Seriously, Mr. HH? Grow up. Come on. So that was the only ugly side of his presser today. He talked about his ministers, that they have to tune down to traveling so much. And yet when you look, who has traveled the most?
It is him who has been traveling.
Huh? He talked about his ministers wanting to travel first class from Lusaka to Johannesburg when they can travel economy. Well, why doesn't he get onto Emirates and travel economy when he's going Konso Koko Bayamukudi Amafile Minyo? What an insult to the Zambian population. No, Ms. Pimako. And then he says, this is not time for politics. Politics will be in 2026. Icona. Even the day you are voted into office, politics start. Who is HH to start stopping people from politicking? 2026, that's when he will open up the space. What a shame. This is worst dictatorship. So Alefu akapera Banankwe 6 to 7 months to campaign. We all supported him when he was locked out, trying to enter Kunuku Eastern Province. Huh? He looked like a wet chicken, but we all supported him.
Yeah, it's true.
And said, Kwena Balungu, allow the man to get into Eastern Province and campaign. But as usual, a person who has hatred, who never forgets, the man is bitter. Bitterness is in his blood. And then he talked about now they are going to empower farmers with irrigation materials. You know, the water tables are low, even the boreholes are drying. He talked about WAMA not belonging to, WAMA not having full authority. WAMA will now be regulated, you know. And his speech didn't motivate anyone. I'm asking myself, he is now saying he's going to empower the Zambians. Even if you've got 1 acre, they will empower you with machinery. They will empower you with seed to plant on that 1 acre plot. He directed the Ministry of Agriculture to be courteous to all the Zambians that will be coming to his office, so that they can empower them. Well, for example, why don't they empower the Zambians with mining implements? Why? But if they will empower you kuku agriculture. Ngako mining. It's only the big shots.
Yeah. You know what, Nick? Because agriculture is unpredictable. They can empower you no mbemfulanga tailokere ifine fyachitika because bali kweto buchenjeshi.
Yeah.
Deception is their game, you know. Yes, deception is their game. So they deceived Zambians. Kavieni, ero bale chita campaign yo mumai to compare my license. Vapita yo form cooperatives to go farming. Mwamona, ama kebali pangama for cooperative fertilizer bali akana mumameda. Nomba ilesana ene mfula yaya. Mwamona, because of deception.
Ichilerenga chale sale chitafyonse fyo. Ala, abafyashiwe sunaba tukwasana mzambia omwo. Vale tukwasana abafyashiwe. So lesa now I want to show them to say ati, if you are not going to repent, if your people, I'll continue like this.
You know, the only thing I regret so much in my life was that I did not have the opportunity to tell the Zambian people when HH was going around the country, ukuba bepa abantu. I didn't have a fora. I never thought of creating a fora and telling people, uyo muntu bufyale mibepa. Bufyale mibepa mwende na Zambia. Salapukeni.
You know, Anik, even if you regret, the thing is this time around you are here. You know, like
Yes.
HH, let's allow the HH to come and rule this country because he cried for 20
Yes.
years in
Yes.
opposition to come and rule, right? So, but HH, even when he's voted out in 2026, it is because of his own doing, mismanagement and reckless
Yeah.
Yes.
governing of this country. Is
Yes.
reckless behavior. Eh?
Yeah.
It is recklessness, is for lack of a better word. Tetimie mkushtisha amataba mwashongwesha mubutala, as mama would say. That is recklessness. Despite several warning abantu bamyeba. Abantu potwambira okulandala mwe bantu kulinkala moko mwikaya. Umwana wamu warninga. We fired several shots.
Mwalishi wa chama tabari asana ku Rwanda. Mwalishi wecho.
Nshayishiba.
Bachani.
Amatabari asana
ku Rwanda ni for bafata Christmas
yes. Oh yes, I know about that. The same way Amataba. Yes. And not only Zambia.
And
not only Zambia.
And the border bale bomfyatina konde.
Yes.
You know, Milo Nalipokera message, Milo Bambiba, a guy went to Mozambique at the whole of Eastern Province, Varetantamina Mataba, and they crossed over 200 kilometers into Mozambique. Vasanga Zedenes Milimiu, Valesh Tishatakuli Namaline. La kwadi ba gross corruption inga kwadi government ya kwetama ministers ababa corrupt ni. Eastern Province ya Mataba takuli, but go in Mozambique. Abantu bale ishtira Mataba.
Rwanda, I think Rwanda aliswana ifwala yabo because yalipita amatabo kwa Rwanda panotu kwanga. Yalipita amatabo bachibalera batipanga ndaba nensala. Batumfyashi oyo.
From there, something declared disaster. After you are feeding the whole Zambia, the whole Africa, Mataba yalena Zambia.
Man, the problem is I don't know why this big man is not wise enough to think about to say ati nishipanga ndabene tabako atabana kutondoka tipanga before ile pasha letu yakulya munganda.
Because you're a businessman. Now, when you're a businessman, when you have a businessman,
yes, you have to have a stock, your own stock in your own house.
Stock, even if you like, now kantemba so stock.
Yes, that's what I believe. But I don't know why this big man is just using bitterness and to just creating like I'm a busy to Katuish Mandini. Okay, Katusho Poingavika by HH. He's a Zambian president, but I don't know where can you put this big man because how Mandini.
What big man are you talking about? A big man has brains. A big man thinks for his children. Okay. You know, I said it on the last program we were on. I said even when we were growing up in the 60s, Gatwayakumushi, Mamayo Senge Vale Sunge Fiakuria, Vadi Sunga Amataba. Fiance Vadi Sunga for a rainy season. That's what a big woman and a big man does. He prepares himself for the worst because we only know where we are coming from. We never know where we are going.
Yeah, it's true.
You understand?
Yeah,
and
it's true.
So for him, everything is for sale except Abakashibabu. Everything is for sale. He sells everything he puts his hand on. Eva economist. And then the American ambassador, and then you listen, American ambassador asked Mr. HH, it would be nice if you can declare your assets. He says the constitution of Zambia does not force any president to declare their assets. And you know why? Imumwewena Zambia, you are blindfolded to think that HH is a very rich man. He's not. He's not rich. This is the time that he's going to be rich. He gives you a false impression that Lama, yet he has
Yes.
nothing. You understand?
Yeah.
But Imwanga Mamona bari alikwatenda lama. No. Epo akanonkela nomba. Huh?
Nani deal napisha sana ma deals ya ma background deals, backdoor deals napisha sana.
He does not see anything with his cadres insulting the Zambians. No,
You know what I was thinking? Me, but first nachitanda pwati nishtabala ndina ma commercial farmers awa mukushi awa mukabwe up to Ndola bawasita supply CD and the fertilizer so that balima kwa matawa bofya kwa center pivot yabo baba agreement na ZNS nishite tibatontonganye ko efyo nolonga bafirwe efyo nishite tibashitya ma center pivot bapera ba ZNS balima kwa matawa kufika up to October nsha matawa na yafuma ema tontonganye yandini.
Mwapuisha.
Yes.
Okay. Now today, HH at his presser, he says he's going to empower the Zambians with farming implements, okay, so that they can farm maize and supply to FRA, Chilanda. And he asked the Minister of Agriculture to open his doors so that the Zambian people can come and offer themselves. Umuntu nangu alikuwa ataka 1 acre, help that person. But when you grow that maize, just know that that maize, it belongs to FRA. Now, he equally talked about supplying people with these same center pivots, irrigation, because the rainfall pattern has been bad. We have had no rain for close to 5 weeks now. But in my bone of contention is the insult that he uttered for the people of Northern Province. I consider it disrespectful. It wasn't an insult program, but I consider that very disrespectful and insulting to the people of Northern Province. You can't tell abantu abo waide mukufukamina mu 2021 that we are going to teach our friends from the Northern Province the culture of farming. Ninseresho. So mulema kulya konsoko ukwa ikale mfumu kulya from time immemorial. Ni Southern Province here to feed the Northern Province. Huh? Is that what he's trying to tell the Zambian people?
This money.
I wanted to come in. Can I come in, please?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to make a comment on the issue that we are discussing here. You know, the most thing that we should focusing on is that they say once beaten, twice shy. This issue of empty words has been there. Obviously, even the youngest Zambian knows this thing, that it is just an empty word. When you look at the issue of soya, I think most of you remember the issue of soya. People were told to prepare soya. The people did. What happened to soya? Soya beans. It becomes very valueless. They say the market was there. They are in the cultivated for soya. They harvested soya. Soya was just something that was everyone very cheap. Because of what? The people were misled. Same the issue, the core of say, no, go and do this maize, we are going to supplement it. I'm telling you, let us do the way we've been doing, caring for ourselves, because now we've seen that there is somebody who is not reliable. Let us continue supplementing ourselves. And what I was emphasizing on before I took a broadcast here first year, due to bad network. Nachilafwaya tuishibe sana fwe Mazambians, tuya sana mukulala. Our country, Zambia, it's a very rich country. It's a very rich country, rich in minerals and na culture. We are a very rich nation in culture. So let us realize the potential here mining. Now, most of the times, ama politicians baratufunya ku chintu ichi sana progressive, because nabakwata ama partners aba nabo abalesa mukushita benefit kuri chile chintu, so that bamifunya attention yenu yafuma ku chintu chili very progressive. They take you to a thing that is good. It has got no use. We've got a sector ya mining otu amona kwa tiari ba useless. Mule ya kumarufuanyamo ku, there are very good emerald mines there. Ya kwa titia tu wafwa no kwa titia tu supplement na agriculture. What has come to be today, if feeling by sapa platform bala tuweba ama promises yonso tumfwa every day, same thing over and over. Let's try to understand that these things are not reliable. These things are not progressive. Nga chakwe bati bare foku tuwafwa, lekeni watu wafwa kwa nama mining license batu chile promise. Lekeni tuingie mu mining full throttle, ifo bene watu kwe sham mine. Tuambie kula shitafila fini tuwale shitafuwe bene muma mine yesu. Noti bese watu webe ati batu chite shift attention. Kuno copper belt fwebe ngifuba rumendo twalita sana twalibimba mu mining, because twalishiba mining ofo yaba nofo ichinja copper belt nga mining ilife continuously, nga mining environment ili conducive. Tulaichita manage bwino fe kuno mbeche ichire papu chakwe bati pali ine miaka yapite na patalala sana. It has been very quiet. There is nothing moving because abantu bamwisana aba taking over yanchende Yesu. Ne fishara fia chabe fishara kumufuriroku kudabwa tina pekara investor. Pachishara fia chakwa fia chishara kuba ateka investor, which is very bad. So ofo ture lomba kufia kwe bati ture ntwika tanenga abantu twishi ofo twinga yafwa nuko afwe charo chesu. Aba bantu abenge abareisa ama politician aba bakwe bafya ati basa mukutubepa, basa mukubika po ukubike charo bachibika ponga surety ile bale fo kuchita chivu ama gozi yabo na ma personal gozi. It is a very unfortunate to them. Olonga nga kuri chimbi icha kuri batata besu ba Edgar Chagwarungu tureba kuseresha kutira bashipe kozi inshita twamba nombe ina ikosa sane inshita nomba takurifya kwe bati abantu bambe kula shita pretend kwa nomba pale for reconciliation apa ture anomba apa inshita nomba na ya kwa tia ile parama n'abantu lyonse bakalakitanga bayisa pamera basa bamba okulayita for reconciliation yonse obalekana. Abantu have been begging kutira ture ntubombere pamo. Ile bayisa futi ku bantu balefo okuyisa n'okuyisa abepe abantu kwati futi bambye kuzembaika abantu kwati palipo efikankare FH kefiri progressive nero tapali. Nde myeba efi chitafe na kaseba nyafira fine alesa kwati nana kilira kwati ni mpanga namu monofo tuwapitamu abapene olo nofo tuli pitamu oyu mwaka tuambili oyu ule ulangano kulanga tina ukosa lekeni tuireka ageni umuntu liwonsa ese cause fwe na Zambia tuwaitemwa sana okumfwa sana kutubu fifiria tulenengena mu matwi ture umfwa ture konka n'obufi abantu babu fiture bachita ture paying attention tubere nomba ifyare njeba nga chakwe bati asafirwa finish fika chitika ture bepusha kona ma question yayo nga bale tubepo obufi noti na twikara ture umfwa fyo obufi umuntu aleranda yo tukesa michitirefi na twikara ture tota no kutota
kunafa bachito omuntu wabufi ngaita abantu tabakolongana n'okukolongana.
Ndemyeba kwalipo ekisungu kimocho baranda abasungu atilio nashitensa pato eipya chisungu icho nashita kwa kasapato akapya njere chinjambe ko kufuara kwa kasapato akapya ilio nafuara mukala kasapato kambo kulangocha kale nshupana pakafuara nkabwela kasapato kandikala kale pukaka kale because nalikesha njere kala kasapato takangocha kala mpera na comfortability fine tusangire muri utata ICO alipangire kwa mistakes yakwe but wali mushibya twawe no tata we sware isa nakorwa twago twaleria tare turegeresha abantu bambi no kura tutikisha bamuisa ndemyeba it is very long to always to seek ama solutions from outside ngana mukwata problem munganda norofo bene fo bakwata manganda tatufa ama solution pali baneba tuikara muno mwine munganda omuntu afaya homegrown solutions no fwane nsala ngamwamona afyo
Mama
kata problem
sorry my dear.
Back 1 minute. Yes, Anik.
Could you kindly read the message from Oscar Mpombo? A very interesting message that he has written. He says, why has Bill Gates the opportunity to grow maize and let Zambian people manage their own mines and minerals? That's what he's asking.
Exactly.
It's a very good question. But Oscar,
Oscar. But you know, comrade, we want Zambia to nationalize the mines. Tatulefoa na ma license because ngawamba kupere ngawapera imwa license nishimwe mwana nonka abantu bambi balechula mwamona. We want a national management of these mines so that all Zambians can benefit. Nomba mopani maini yobali shtisha. Mwamona. Ukarali empia shaku mopani ni nani. Uliawi neba shtishe. But there is drought muchalo. We need just people to help us where we are weak.
Ba Oscar. Say tu imona question yi. Namu imona question pushe ba Oscar pa. Tu ibwelele po tu ipiturukemo yi question yi akwe bati Jeff Bezos uyu mukankara wako America oyule dealing na Amazon na Bill Gates. Chakwe bati bese batuwe bati na bachita discover kopa kuno kuzambia bale tubepa problem tukwetenga chakwe bati abarumendo babiri abarasakamane cyaro cyesu noro ichine they have got a good meaning pali this country lekeni bakese twafwako ukura idima mataba no kutuletera
and I think I think to catch the continue Milo kuti mwachita close down. We've been here 2 hours, so Milo will come early 21 hours. And Oscar, let's try and subscribe so that we discuss why foreigners are being given mining licenses and being and locals are being told to farm, because more mining takwaba economic, takwaba mining sector is not affected by climate change. So we, Zambia as a country, is a country which has been built on mining. Right now, what the government needs to do, they need to focus on empowering Zambians in the mining sector. They need to sit down and maybe nationalize the mines or do something, because mining is not affected by climate change. Ama wayari pangika kade payari wayari karapansh. It is ready cash. But we were sending people kuya mukulima when there are so many factors that are affecting agriculture. Kudo buy kuya. Look, they have oil, they have capitalized on their wealth to build the economy. Now, Botswana is the same.
Naba pokere fya maloni padi ine season twafuma koyi abona iki amataba. Abataba kote abataba ishwaka insurance aba pokere loni ya agriculture ineyi. Finch fire bachitikira. Ema problem.
Zambians need to wake up. You need to start focusing on getting your share in the mine, because I'm a mine area. That is solid cash. The minerals don't get affected by mining, by climate change. This is where we should be pointing our people.
Ilio twaishi bati Zambia yali balichimwa minerals na fintu ifimbi tuwule amasukuru tuambia kulasambilisha abana besu pali emerald pali copper pali sujirite
tuaba busy. Last comments. I've been here 2 hours.
My last comment, Mama Pomono, I really wished one of the journalists could have asked Mr. HH why we are giving tax holidays to these Wamwisa. I was yearning for that question, but alas. Good night, Mama.
And you know what? This by HH Nangubenga Mkulomba relief, it will not come free, because Kuyoko Balea Mkulomba Bakabe Pusha. Why are you asking for relief when you, the same government, have given tax holiday? Eh? Parona we can now Empia, Wabul Empia, Wapela man to tax holiday. That is money that can help to buy relieve the drought.
Bachere dio pota turaisala lekeni pange kufika quick remark hapo pene aka fast fi.
Go ahead.
Mwalishi baba neso abo twaingira na bena buchibusa abasungu. Bali changera sana. So na kakene mure monaka anga situation akatukwete Muzambia akakwata tukwete amataba bala kashita create mure monaka bakashita create ka situation so that luya twasa buliro lomba basayisa kwati eba enje obese basamukuta save oro lomba basabika po chipope ichako bati nombanga twamperefi nafu mutuperefi so na kakene ka situation mure monaka bakachitire modify pakutira ifo batabeshibe tule muna kwati basa mkutu wafwa ili bale tuwafwa bale tusendero mkuba wesu
tabaka tuwafwe mkwaita kafta fyaka bena free